Take a look at Rembrandt's Jeremiah here. Temple burning in the background, right hand behind him. The psalmist says, if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand lose its skill. Rembrandt paints that. The most significant part of this painting is the book underneath Jeremiah's left elbow. The Bible is closed. The irony or paradox, really, of Rembrandt's painting is that Rembrandt, by painting Jeremiah, is keeping the book open. Rembrandt realizes, and he is one of the great moderns with Shakespeare, he realizes that if there is going to be a non-fundamentalist culture, the Jew must be included. Shakespeare's a little bit different, but for Rembrandt, the Jew must be included, not as a footnote, not as part of an allegorical story in which the Jewish story gets subordinated to somebody else's, but the Jewish story in and of itself. Tolerate the Jew, and you will have a non-fundamentalist culture. The first thing to do is to tolerate the Jew. Everybody else will follow. You see just in this painting that the left foot is visible. It looks muscular, really. And that's because Jeremiah, as much as he's lamenting, he's also walking into the future. He's basically walking into our future, and we're seeing him in Rembrandt's painting. The nations of the world are trying to close our book right now, or they're trying to take it for themselves, really. That's, everybody says the Bible is used for the most horrible reasons. When the Jewish book is subordinated to one particular religious or political message, then the book is dangerous. When the book becomes closed for the people to whom it was given, then it becomes dangerous. That's what's really happening now. There are, in this week's Torah portion, the Bnei Chet. They were that's the tribe from which Ephron was from which Abraham buys the cave in Hebron, where he's going to bury first Sarah, then himself, then the other patriarchs and matriarchs. And Bnei Chet are mentioned 10 times. And the Medrash says, why is the Torah wasting so much ink on the Bnei Chet? The Medrash goes on to say that each one of the Bnei Chet represents one of the 10 commandments. It's raising their status, and it's raising their status because it's saying there are nations of the world, there are people in the nations of the world who will testify to the Jewish claims, to the Jewish connection to Eretz Yisrael, to the land of Israel. The Bnei Chet are there. Rembrandt is there. So we do have friends, and we have to bring those friends close to us now. And those friends, they will remind us of our connection to the Jewish world. They will also hopefully remind the West of their connection to civilization before it undoes itself. Jews have always encouraged others to tell stories. We tell our story. We encourage people to tell us, just as long as you don't kill us, that's all. But now we're back in that situation again, where people are stealing our book and trying to kill us. To remember our friends and allies, we have to also remember that this book belongs to us, right? I had like a revelation in the Rijksmuseum in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, because I thought, wow, Rembrandt is keeping my book open, right? And he realizes how essential the Jewish book is to his culture. And not just, again, as a resource for some kind of fundamentalism. Rembrandt was in 17th century Holland, which was probably, with more so than England, the most liberal early modern society. And it was so liberal in many ways because of the strength of the Jewish community in Amsterdam. And Rembrandt, as part of that community, I mean, obviously not as a Jew, he was very close friends with Menashe ben Israel. He painted who was the most influential rabbi in Europe. But Rembrandt knew that community. He knew Midrash. He paints them. Let's be strong, Klal Yisrael.